Okay guys, today is going to be a fun recipe. My boyfriend Jeff, his sister is in town, and where she's going to school, unfortunately there are no Asian restaurants around. The closest that she can get is Panda Express. So we're gonna make something good for her tonight. Okay, so for the steamed buns, all we need is 3 ingredients. We need milk, instant yeast, and flour. Now I'm doubling the recipe because 2 of Jeff's sisters and then one of his sister's boyfriend is coming as well. So we got a lot of mouths to feed. So I just did 4 cups of flour here. Typically, you're just gonna want to do 2. Now I am adding the instant yeast. We are just gonna want to do 1 teaspoon of instant yeast. Again, I'm doubling the recipe, so I am doing 2 teaspoons. And then from here, we're adding the 3rd ingredient, which is whole milk. Okay, so now that we got all the ingredients together, we're gonna mix with our hands. We're gonna get our hands a little dirty for this. And then after it looks like it's sufficiently combined, where it's not super floury, then we will bring it to the flat surface right here, and then we're going to start kneading her. So we're just gonna work her in right there like that. If you have like a KitchenAid, you don't need to do 15 minutes, maybe even less than that, like 10 minutes. Now we are throwing her onto the flat surface. Kneading is honestly such hard work, but trust me, this recipe is so worth it. And then what's nice is after this, we're gonna let this proof for about an hour, then it's basically ready to go. I'm like right in front of this window here, and it is actually so hot today. Why am I wearing a sweater? From here, we are going to divide the dough. And now I'm going to split it again. How big you want these buns just depends on personal preference. I am going to do about 12. Some of them will be a little bit smaller. Okay. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. So I actually did 13. Something else that I love using these buns for is nikuman, which if you're not familiar with nikuman, it's similar to chashu bao, but if you're not familiar with that either, nikuman is a popular steamed bun filled with like a ground pork filling. Oftentimes you'll see like cabbage or mushrooms inside. It is so good. You can find them at convenience stores everywhere. Okay, so this is our last one. I am going to flatten the dough ball out a little like this. So as you can see, I am just tucking it in, twisting at the bottom, and we've got ourselves a steamed bun. Well, we've got ourselves a bun. We're gonna steam it in about an hour. So that leads me to the next steps. I have a bamboo basket. You do not have to steam these in a bamboo basket, although this is most common and definitely the easiest. I've tried steaming using other methods, but it's pretty difficult to get the perfect steam. The baskets come in all sizes. I got mine at the Asian market, but you can definitely find them online as well. I'll link them so that you guys can buy one if you're interested. But I've got some parchment paper here, and I'm just gonna cut it into little squares. Cut them bigger than the bun actually is, because we are gonna proof these for an hour and they're gonna almost double in size. So about this size is perfect, 6 inches by 6 inches. So now we've got some squares cut out. We are going to let the buns proof. This is when they will double in size. Maybe not quite double, but they're going to get a lot bigger. We're just gonna put 4 on top and then 4 on the bottom. So we've got this layer, and then we're going to do this next layer as well. Now let's stack them, and then we're just gonna let this proof for 1 hour. Okay guys, it's been about 45 minutes. The buns are almost done proofing. Jeff's sisters are not coming over for probably about another hour, but I'm just gonna start prepping the chicken so that it's ready to go by the time that they get here. Okay, we are using chicken thighs. I highly recommend using chicken thighs over chicken breasts because they just get so tender and they are just delicious because there's more fat on them, and we love that. I am just gonna cut these up into little bite-sized pieces. About this big is good. Honestly, maybe even smaller, just because we want it to fit in the buns. On top of the chicken, I'm also gonna be cooking up some shrimp. I didn't buy the shrimp specifically for this. We just have some leftover from a recipe I made the other day. We just diced up all of the chicken, and now we are going to marinate it in a spicy sauce. For the sauce, we got gochujang first. If you're not familiar with gochujang, it is a hot pepper paste that is really common in Korean cuisine. If you're cooking about 2 chicken thighs, I would probably do about 1 tablespoon of gochujang, but we are doing, I think, like 6 chicken thighs, so I'm just gonna do a few tablespoons there. All right, next we are going to do some soy sauce. I'd probably do about 1 tablespoon per 2 chicken thighs. So we'll probably do about 3 tablespoons. Okay, next we got meading. This is Japanese rice wine and I use it in everything. So we're just gonna add probably about a tablespoon. And this is optional, but I love adding roasted sesame seeds to my dishes. So we are gonna add just a little bit to this marinade. We cannot forget the sesame oil. If you've smelled it, you know exactly what I'm talking about, but it's got this iconic smell that just makes everything taste so good. From here, we are going to add our chicken to the marinade. And again, I eyeballed it, so it's possible I might need more of the sauce. And if I do, I'll walk you guys through that. But this looks like it should be perfect. So we're just gonna mix it nice and coated. Oh, I wish you guys could smell this. It smells so good. Yeah, it looks like that was plenty of sauce. So this is kind of what you want it to look like. I'll zoom in a little. So we're just gonna let this sit in the marinade in the fridge for probably about 30 minutes, a little before the guests arrive. And now we're gonna add that same marinade to that leftover shrimp I threw together as well. It's gonna be the same exact process, but a little less of the marinade ingredients since there's less shrimp. Okay, this is one of my favorite things to do if you just want to add instant flavor to any Asian dish. Add garlic and ginger. And now we are going to mince our garlic. If you're in a time crunch, you don't need to use fresh garlic, but I will say it does add more flavor. We're getting about there to the size that we're wanting. Now we're gonna throw this onto the stove. We're just gonna put down some olive oil. And first we are going to do our shrimp. Obviously not gonna use all of the ginger or all of the garlic because we're saving some of it for the chicken. Okay, and now we are doing the same thing for our chicken pan. Okay guys, so while we got the ginger and garlic just heating up on the stove, we are gonna take a look at our buns. It's been about an hour now, so they should be done proofing. So let's take a look. All right, here comes the moment of truth. Ooh, they look so good. Okay, let's look at these other ones. Wow, these look awesome. We're gonna keep them in here because we're actually gonna steam them in a second. I have this pot filled with a little bit of water and I am just going to place the bamboo basket right above it. I wanna make sure that the water line doesn't hit the dough inside of here, and we are just gonna steam this. Let the water slightly simmer, probably for about 10 to 12 minutes. While that is going, we are just going to slice up some carrots and we want them to be matchstick size. All right, this is about the size that we want for the carrots. We're gonna throw this in with the chicken and shrimp. Now we are going to throw in the chicken. And with the chicken, most of the carrots. And then we're gonna do the same for the shrimp. In goes the shrimp. Now with shrimp, it really does not take long to overcook it, so just be very careful. Okay, here goes the carrots. Now we're gonna throw this on the stove. The buns are done, so let's take a look. They look perfect. If you aren't going to serve your buns for a little, just try to keep them covered for as long as possible so that they don't dry out. And now I'm gonna slice into them just a little to create an opening to where I can then put in the chicken and shrimp I cooked. I forgot to get a final video of the shrimp, but hopefully you can just imagine in your mind what it looks like. It was a hit. The chicken was pretty spicy, but me, Jeff, and his sisters are all spice lovers, so it was perfect for us, honestly. If you don't want your chicken to be as spicy, just throw in less gochujang and just adjust to your personal preference. At the end, I garnished with green onions, and that was it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to me at Kyrie the Foodie for more Asian-inspired recipes.